All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. It is technically, well, first of all, let me start off. Mrs. Inkslinger, Mr. Inkslinger, we're back. This is episode 21. Again, it's not your typical, your regular, right on time podcast. This is Candidly Devoted Presents the Journal, episode number 21. This is the journal that we're going to be speaking about, and obviously I'll delve deeper into that. So just a few things. Let's talk accountability first, right? So it's been 25 days since I last uploaded a podcast. Of those 25 days, again, weekends don't count because I typically don't write on weekends. I wrote for 11 days and I didn't for 7, right? And those 7 days fall through the work week, right? Monday through Friday, whether I just slept in or I wasn't feeling it. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. My producer's getting in my ear. Was that Gabriel? Hold on. Wait. Oh, he's handing me something, folks. Oh my God. This is big news, folks. She can't hold it in. Should we share?
Sure.
All right. We're going to share this with you guys. Chapter 13 is done. It only took 40 days of rain and darkness and shame and all the bad stuff that come with that. So chapter 13 is in the books. My Inkslinger friend here, she hasn't read all of it, correct? Since I updated it, no. But from what you wrote before I finished it, what did you think so far?
It's getting there.
It's getting there.
It's getting. No, it's you feel the tension and the I don't know the expectancy of something is happening or is about to happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. All right. So a couple things did happen. And again, because this is Candidly Devoted, we're going to, yes, I did talk about the book, but we want to focus a little more on, what's going on here, right? How she has to suffer through my moldy fruit. Anyways, on October 4th, we actually celebrated our 10-year anniversary. Woo! It was awesome. On that, the following weekend, we had the marriage retreat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, I did want to share with you guys that this Bible was given to us on our wedding day, right?
Mm-hmm.
By our good friends, the Arroyos. You know who you are. You're guilty. Anyways, thank you for that Bible. We have read it. We've read it, I want to say, at least a couple times, right? We went through it twice, I think.
The first couple years.
Yeah. And so technically, the way this devotional Bible is written out is so that you go through it in a year. It took us like 3 to 5 years to go it one time. The moral of the story is just read it when you can, right? Don't focus so much on being on time or being late. Again, I get it. But George, you're on the Right on Time podcast. It has nothing to do with that. You just come together, with your pareja, right? And you guys delve into it. And I really like it because it makes you talk about things that probably wouldn't come up. And because let's say they do come up, but let's say you talk about it first. Now I feel like you're equipped with some wisdom before you face it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It just gives you an opportunity to have deeper conversations. Sometimes you get through the mundane things, and when you take the time to just like, hey, let's read it and see what questions come up. It like the Word of God is always living and active. So I feel like sometimes the things that it brings up are things that we're going through or we need to face or prepare for. So it's good.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right. Now, the title of this chapter, again, is the journal, because as we all know, the journal is far superior to the notebook. Anyways, so the journal is this one right here. Now, so this journal is actually, technically, this is journal number 3, right? And you're thinking, well, George, what's the importance of the journal? So in the journal, I don't know I think you might have had the idea, and then I thought it was my idea
No,
a few
we
months
got
down the
it
road.
From
A pastor friend of ours?
pastor friend of
Okay.
ours.
So in the journal, what we do is we write each other. We write each other letters only because I think sometimes you want to say things, and when you're saying them, we don't know what state of mind the other person is in, and they may hear a word that may trigger them, and then the message may have been completely lost. And what was intended to be a good edifying word becomes, I don't know, an argument or, two people bickering, right? I mean, you've seen it. Yeah. So now when I say that's journal number 3, it doesn't mean that we've written 3, right? We started 2. The first one that we didn't finish, I used it as my own personal journal. I think the second one you're using now as your own journal. But we found this one, and it's got our favorite chapter in the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which is known as the love chapter, right? And this one is the one that says love never fails, which, in our case, we know that's true, right? Especially when, biblically speaking, you understand that love, well, God is love, right? So basically it's saying God never fails, which is true. Yeah. He didn't fail us, right? He saved us. He's faithful. So another thing I wanted to share about it is, so yes, we write each other. One of the things my wife asked me, hey babe, what does your quiet time look like? I wanted to tell her, but I was just like, it's kind of like a lot, right? Because my quiet time has changed vastly from 2018 till 6 years today, right? In 2018, my quiet time was 5 minutes in the morning. I would just put my head down and pray to God, right? Whether I was just grateful or something's coming up or I need your help or whatever, right? And then every week, I think I would add a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then this year in February, I discovered that 10% of a 24-hour day is 2 hours and 24 minutes. So now I do my 2 hour and 24 minute quiet time, right? Which I believe I spoke about in the first episode of the Right on Time podcast. Where basically now it's not 2 hours and 24 minutes that I'm in the in my war room. Of those 224, 51 minutes I dedicate over here in the area 51 where I'm writing, right? So that's that. But yeah, I wrote to her as best detailed as I could what I spent in my quiet time, and it took like 2 pages. Yeah, it's a lot. Again, I'm not telling you this to gloat or to tell you that you have to do that. That's just been my journey, and I feel like that's helped me. And obviously, she can tell you whether that's true or that's a lie, because she's the one who has to eat my fruit, whether it's good or horrible, right? So I'm sorry about that. I didn't watch the last one. Anyways, we're talking about spiritual fruits, folks. Get your minds out the gutter. Now, what else? Okay, so another thing I did want to talk about. So we did write one of the first devotionals here, and again, we just started again, right, babe? We started was it our wedding anniversary, or did we start?
Yeah, at the hotel in our wedding.
So we stayed at a hotel for our wedding. Yes, we did a staycation.
Actually, that was it was a good time to just dive into it once again, start again, and we had a really good conversation that night.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. And now, I do hate to apologize. We're not going to talk about the Devo that we spoke about there. The Devo that I wanted to share about was the one about Genesis 12:13. The only reason I wanted to share that one was because when we first talked about it, it just felt awkward to me, because that's the one where Abram and Sarai, so this is before they even got their names changed to Abraham and Sarah. Before they get their names changed, there is famine in the land of Israel, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it was called Israel, though. I think it was Canaan at that time. I apologize. Again, a lot of names have changed, right? Go figure. So they leave the land that they're living in to go to Egypt, and because they're in the search of bread. They're in the search of bread, and then he tells her, right? So Abram tells his wife, who's also his half-sister from his father's side, I believe. He tells her, please tell the Egyptians that you're my sister. I don't want them to kill me, and I think things will go good for me. And as we were talking that night, I just couldn't wrap around my mind a scenario in today's date where that would happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, do you think, like, what would be the equivalent of that in 2024?
Well, not in the West world that we live in.
Maybe in the Wild West.
Maybe it still happens in the Middle East, where they still, you know what I mean, the women have less say so. But yeah, I don't see it happening in this.
Well, yeah, I guess it would. Yeah, it would be. Well, not just. You're right. I'm glad you said that. So maybe it can happen in this time in another part of the world, but as Americans here in this country, I'm just like, I don't. To me, as we were talking, I'm like, babe, I just can't. I can't see a correlation, right? So I don't know if it was a few days later or a week later, but I felt like I got a revelation, and I got a revelation from one of my brothers in Christ. So the four things that I took away from this was, first, when Abram went to Egypt in the search of bread, who told him to go to Egypt, right? Because when God told him to leave his father's household behind, that he was going to make him a father of nations and all that, that was God that talked to him. But did God tell him to go to Egypt?
I don't remember. We got to go back and read it.
Okay, so no, he didn't. I remember because I did read it. He didn't tell him, right? He that they were following their stomach, not wisdom, right? So that was their first. They were following their carnality, if that's a word.
The flesh.
Right, the flesh. The second thing is he said, "Say you are my sister." So now he's telling his spouse to lie for him, right? And my wife, I know you may not know her, but she's really upright. I don't think I've ever been able to tell her to lie for me and she'll do it. She'll be like, "No, I'm not doing that." She'll throw me under the bus, and that's good. She'll keep me accountable. So he not only did they not seek wisdom from the Lord, they followed their stomachs, and then he put himself in a position where he forced his wife to lie for him, right?
Yeah.
After that, because of that lie, the third thing I learned was he put her in a precarious situation where an Egyptian was going to fall asleep or get to know her, right? Go to sleep with her, right? And it's funny because if you know the story of Abram and Sarai, in the future, she does the same thing to him with an Egyptian when she tells him, "Sleep with my Egyptian maid so that, you can have an heir." Again, they didn't ask God for this. God never told them, "Hey, I need you to sleep with, I'm going to give you children, but not through your wife." That never came out of God's mouth, or I don't even think that was in his mind. Right, babe?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing I got, the revelation that I got was, don't use your spouse as an excuse. And I've done that, right? Like sometimes some of the men will invite me to something and I'll be like, "No, I can't. My wife's got," and it's like, "No, don't do that. Don't, you don't, if you don't want to do something, just, what does the Bible say? Let your no be no and your yes be yes."
Yeah.
Just tell them, "Hey, I don't want to," and if you're busy or not, it's no one's business. You're your own adult. Just tell them, or if you can, you can't. That's simple. What do you think, babe?
Don't make excuses.
Okay.
Or use your wife.
Or use your husband. Because I think both can do that. And
Sure.
and like I said, how Abram basically forced his wife with an Egyptian, she did the same to him, right? Again, she didn't push him, but it did come out of her mouth. It was her idea, and Abram was all too happy to oblige. He's a very humble and obedient husband.
And now we have the benefit, or not the benefits,
the
consequences
yes.
of that.
Well, no, you're right. Those are the benefits, which are, these benefits were not good. These are benefits that nobody wants. And it's been war for the last, 10,000 years or however long it's been.
Right.
6,000. Anything that you wanted to add that I skipped over?
No, I think you explained it very well.
Okay. All right, cool. So that's what we wanted to talk about. We just wanted to share with you guys a few tidbits. I just wanted to give you guys, that news flash about chapter 13, because that one, it's funny because these numbers I think are very important in biblical or in the Hebrew, but my three hardest chapters were chapters 1, 7, and 13. And I believe there's special numbers and there's a correlation to that. I haven't done the study yet. I'll have to look into it, and I'll possibly talk about it in the next episode or in the future episode. Babe, was there anything else you wanted to add to this?
No, I'm publicly say I'm thankful that we've been doing this for 10 years. It's definitely not easy, and and if you ever want to know our testimony, we'll probably try to share that. But I'm just thankful that first that you are obedient to God to follow or do what He puts in your heart, which is the quiet time, these are just the tools that we have to continue growing, getting to know each other. Because yes, it's been 10 years, but I think we're still finding things about each other. That the Word is the center of how we live our lives, and it shows. And I'm excited for the book to finish. One more chapter, and hopefully December 13, you'll get to read it too.
Yep, on 12/13 at 12/13, and I did the numbers, so that's only 40 days and 20 hours away from right now, which is
Oh wow.
kind of scary. I'm freaked out. So pray for me and the journal and the journey and my bride, who needs it more than all of us combined. But yeah, that's what's going on. And so the quote that I wanted to leave today was from Mark Twain, where he said, "The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why." And I think I was born to write. It only took me 40 years to figure that out, but it's better late than never, right?
Right on time.
Right on time. All right, thank you, Mrs. Inkslinger. This is why she's my co-host and my co-creator and co-editor and all that good stuff. So anyways, from me to you with a lot of love, thank you for joining Candidly Devoted. We want to bless you guys. We pray that you guys have a wonderful day. And I will do better to post more frequently. I'm actually kind of glad that it took 25 days, because in the December calendar, typically Christmas is on the 25th, Christmas Day, not Eve, Christmas Day. So for me, being able to share with you 25 days on the road that chapter 13 is done is a big gift. So thank you for that. Babe, any final words?
We're good.
We're good. We're good, y'all. Love you guys. Be blessed.